Well, my name is Steve Wills. I'm from the UK. I have 25 years of drowning prevention specialised knowledge. I've worked at a sort of global level with UN agencies to try and look at global change, but I've also worked in many countries to work with local partners and communities to develop drowning prevention solutions. But I think in Uganda, some brilliant work going on, and I've been really lucky to see firsthand over the last few days some of that amazing work that's been piloted, tested with the communities to understand what's working, what's not working. So it's been an incredible experience, and it's great to see the momentum building and communities so engaged and so many different organisations and government departments working together to solve this issue. Well, the World Health Organization has a series of global recommendations. They suggest that countries think about and adopt. They don't all work everywhere, so you need to tailor those interventions to work in specific communities. But I think the things that are happening here, like Learn to Swim programs, survival swimming, school education, things like life jacket wear with fishermen, all these things combined will have a huge impact over time. So I think those things are really essential, and to see them scaled up is now really important. And then alongside that, making sure the government at national level is putting in policies and regulations to support those vital interventions. Well, I don't think it's just developing countries. I think all countries have challenges with drowning prevention. It's often seen as a niche issue that doesn't really get taken seriously in any context. So the most biggest challenge first is to get it established and understood by policymakers and communities that is an urgent public health issue that needs to be addressed. But also it has lots of interconnection with things like climate change, gender, poverty, etc. So trying to get this issue amongst those broader issues is vital. So the challenge really with policymakers is first about awareness, but then translating that awareness into some kind of action and some kind of commitment. No, I think my own experience, and the great thing about, and I'm so lucky to be able to absorb and learn from different communities, is trying to share some of that knowledge and make sure it can be adapted for the local situation. So there's often challenges about gender, so girls and women particularly, making sure they can partake in these interventions. There's also practical challenges with remote communities such as these. How do you get those interventions embedded and sustained long term? So really it's learning from each of those communities and realising there isn't one blueprint you can just take and put in every community. You have these principle measures, then you need to work with those communities to design them so they're fit for purpose for those specific contexts. Well, again, I think it's the same everywhere. It's having this double-pronged approach. There's no point having a few interventions in a few communities if you can't scale it. We'll obviously have benefits in those specific places, but if you want to see wholesale change and drive those drowning figures down at a national level, you also need to have that government engagement and that funding stream to make sure these things can be sustained. So it's working at communities to develop the solutions, but it's also working nationally at the top with government to make sure those solutions can be scaled and embedded and standardized into business as usual when it comes to community intervention. But I think the most important thing, and I know this word gets used and I've said it several times, is community. But also it's so important, it has to be the community that responds to these issues. It's their people, their family, their friends that are drowning every day around these lakes and the shores of Uganda. So there's a lot of things that can be done by NGOs and the government, but it's the communities themselves that need to take action. Making sure their children are safe, supervised at peak risk hours, making sure that if there are access to interventions, they can partake and they're supportive of those. So really, to sustain this at a capacity level, the community must be the centre of everything. Just my visit here has been absolutely brilliant. It's an eye-opener. I'm here to learn. Quite often you get asked to share your thoughts, but really my job here is to learn what's happening and then to share what's happening here with other countries and areas of the world so there can be more improvements at a global level. But if I've seen something elsewhere that perhaps could be utilised here, it's also to work with people like Reach a Hand to make sure that knowledge is shared and imparted. So it's been a brilliant trip. Lots more to learn. I hope to come back at some point, but good luck with the scale up and the work that's been going on over the last year or two.